Okay, so I'm going to begin starting with the bot scoring. So in subtest 1, we completed the drawing lines through the pass, the crooked and curved, connecting the dots, and folding paper. So as my total score, we got a 13, and I'll show you here's how I scored it. You can see that. And then in subtest 4 for under bilateral coordination, we completed the jumping jacks, and Grace was able to complete the 5 jumping jacks right in a row, so we only had to complete one trial. So her total point score was a 3 in that section. So here's the scoring for that. So you can see it. Okay. So that is my scoring for the bot. And as for the VMI, we started right away with the copying portion of the VMI since she was 6 years old. So I'll show you that scoring. Here's where I scored it. There's the other side. So we got a total raw score of 11. And then on the front, I have the summary. So for the raw score, it would be 11. The standard score is 68. The Scout score would be 4, and she would fall under 2 percentiles. Also, too, I wanted to touch on with the VMI that according to the VMI, you must have a pencil without an eraser, but I didn't have a pencil without an eraser, so I just took a pencil and cut the eraser off the top. But we didn't have any issues because she didn't go and try to erase any of her work anyway. And then as for the prone extension, Grace was able to hold that for about 20 seconds. She was definitely working hard while doing that. And then she was also able to perform the Diodokinesia maturely. And then for a little bit of my activity analysis, so I decided to let Grace choose the activity she wanted to complete, just so that she felt more involved and was actually enjoying the time. So she ended up choosing to play 2 different board games. She chose the Cat in the Hat and the Candyland board game. So Candyland I have played before, so I was familiar with this one. This activity definitely worked on fine motor. I had actually asked Grace to help me set it up, so by simply beginning this way, I was able to observe some of her fine motor skills that early. So some of the fine motor skills that were present included pinching, so when she had to move the player from spot to spot, she had to pinch the top of the player. She also had to use pinch when picking up her cards. In-hand manipulation took place a few times too, because if she picked up the player, she had to obviously move the player out of her hand. And then I'm not really familiar, or I wasn't familiar with the Cat in the Hat game going into it, but this was actually beneficial because it allowed Grace to explain the instructions of the game to me, so I was able to understand some of her praxis skills. So in order to play this game, you also need to perform 5 motor tasks. So some of the, like I had just mentioned, the pinching was definitely there, in hand manipulation. And then visual motor perception also was present in that the player or Grace had to initiate the task and copy what was being done on the card that she chose. I also enjoyed this game too because it incorporated some motor activities. So an example, Grace actually had to, the one card that she chose, she had to take 4 large steps while balancing something on her head without letting the object fall. So some of the cards that we chose worked on different things like bending, coordination, flowing, stabilizes, and even reaching too. So overall, while playing these 2 games, it was definitely interesting to see how she interacted with me, and also the activities also helped me learn a little bit about her attention levels too. So if I were to perform this activity again, not so much with the Candyland because I think we had enough room for that, but again, I wasn't really aware how the Cat in the Hat game was performed, but I would definitely try to find a better space that is larger to allow for more movement, because I definitely felt like when she was performing the one activity, taking the 4 large steps, it was kind of hard because the room that we were in was a little small. So to continue on with my reflection, if I were to go back and complete this again, I would probably attempt to hide the video camera. It was really difficult with the space that I was in to hide it. I think she's definitely performed really well, but at times she definitely got distracted and would look at the video, and a few times, well, I'm sure you'll see it, but during the assessments, my screensaver showed up and it was still recording, but she would stop what she was doing and go, Ashley, I think your computer just shut off. So yeah, if I were to perform these assessments over, I would definitely hide the camera because I think it would make it more realistic. Overall, I think it went really well. I think I was able to move the assessments along quick enough so that she didn't get too bored. And then as for the assessments, it was really difficult to not provide any sort of encouragement. At one point, Grace actually was completing the VMI and she asked me, oh, do I do it like this? Am I doing it right? And then according to the VMI instructions, the only thing you're able to say is try to do your best on both the easy and hard ones and don't skip any. And I just felt like it was really scripted, so this was kind of hard for me. So all in all, I think I was definitely a little nervous going into it in the beginning, but it definitely felt more natural as it continued on. So yeah, I think I covered everything. All right, thank you.